Hi, this is Walt Mossberg from the Wall Street Journal, and this is Windows 7, the latest version of the world's most popular computer operating system. Now, Windows 7 is the successor to probably one of the least successful versions Microsoft has ever produced of Windows, a version called Windows Vista, which had a number of significant flaws and was fairly unpopular both with consumers and with corporations. And in 2 weeks, Windows 7 will be released in an effort to get that whole Vista business behind Microsoft and make the Windows PC more pleasant to use and more efficient to use. I've been testing Windows 7 in pre-release versions and in its final version now for a total of about 10 months. And in the last month or so, I've really been hitting it hard, trying it on 11 different computers from many of the major computer makers, ranging from tiny netbooks to large desktops and a lot of laptops in between. I even installed it on an Apple Macintosh. And my bottom line conclusion is that Windows 7 is a success. It not only fixes most of the problems of Vista. It's faster, it's less annoying, it's more compatible, but it adds some relatively small, when taken one by one, but important when taken all together, features that make it much easier to do your daily work, to organize your programs and your files and get right to the one you want when you want it. Now, there's way too much in Windows 7 to cover in a video like this. There's more in my printed column that accompanies this video, and even there I can't touch on every feature. But let me just talk about a few key elements. First of all, like Snow Leopard, which is Apple's latest operating system that came out in August, Windows 7 is more evolutionary than revolutionary. You're not going to find something in Windows 7 that you've never conceived of before or imagined could be put in an operating system. But it has lots of nice little touches. It's fast. All that delay and lag time those of you who use Vista have become used to is pretty much gone. It doesn't quite start or reboot as quickly as the Macs that I tested, but it's way better than Vista. It's tolerable, and it recovers from sleep on a laptop almost instantly and every time that I tried it, so that's really good. The nagging that was a problem in Vista has been mostly put under your control. You can decide when you want the system to warn you about some security thing. And in my tests, hardware compatibility, except in one case involving a Verizon data modem, was excellent. Software compatibility on a lot of popular third-party programs like Adobe Reader and Firefox and iTunes and Picasa was excellent. But what are the new features? Well, a lot of them center around the taskbar, which is the the strip at the bottom of the screen. It's been in Windows for a long time. In Windows 7, the designers took the taskbar and really re-engineered it. They borrowed some of this, I have to say, from Apple. The taskbar in Windows 7 operates something much more like the dock, which is Apple's equivalent of the taskbar, but they went beyond where Apple has gone. When you look at the taskbar in Windows 7, you'll notice it's fatter, and it's really now mainly a place for you to keep your favorite programs in any order you want. And when you're running one of those programs, even if you have, say, several windows open in that program, just hovering over its icon is going to give you a preview, show you the multiple windows, and as you hover over one of those windows, it will pop up to a full-size preview, and if you click on it, you go to the window. You can also close windows from these previews. You can play media inside the preview, so it's very versatile. And some aspects of that are called Aero Peek, P-E-E-K. Another aspect of Aero Peek is that you can very quickly, by just hovering over a spot on the right side of the taskbar, see your whole desktop with the windows made transparent, so you can just check what icons you might have on the taskbar or whatever else you want to do. Windows 7 also has built-in multi-touch and gestures, kind of like you've seen on the iPhone. Now, this is not going to be available on most computers later this month when Windows 7 ships, because it requires a special kind of touch screen, not just any touch screen, but a special kind. But there will be some computers that will have it right from the start, and there will be more over time. And you can do the usual things you've become used to on the iPhone and some other phones that have this sort of thing, like rotating pictures and flipping through pictures and moving windows around with your fingers. No stylus required. Now, there are some downsides to Windows 7. For one thing, Microsoft has decided to strip away all the little applications you've been used to in Windows, some of which are very important. There's no built-in email program, calendar, contacts, photo organizer, video editing program. These are all still available. They're all still free, but you've got to go download them from a Microsoft site. You could, of course, use some other companies' versions of these programs. Another big problem, which I've highlighted in some past columns, is that it's really tough to upgrade to Windows 7 from Windows XP. Windows XP, even though it's 8 years old, is still the most popular version of Windows. And in order to upgrade from Windows XP to Windows 7, you have to wipe out your hard disk, back up your files to some other drive, install Windows 7, restore your files, and then, and this is the killer, reinstall all your programs and all the patches to those programs. So it's really a painful process, and that's a big downside to Windows 7. In my tests, almost everything worked well in Windows 7. Almost all the promises Microsoft made were kept. I did run into a few glitches on a couple of the 11 different computers I tried it with. But my bottom line overall is that this is the best version of Windows ever. It is highly competitive with the Mac operating system, which you haven't been able to say about Windows for some years, at least in my personal opinion. And it gives XP users, despite the difficulty of the upgrade, a solid, modern operating system that they can upgrade to when they're ready. This is Walt Mossberg, and I'll see you next week.